Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Final Stop. I'm your host, Daniel Bridgegad. Sitting to my right, per usual, it's the Vampire King himself, King Possum, Lord Meerkat. It's Tristan Bowling.
Howdy.
Yes, I love when that gets the guest to laugh. Over here on the side table, double chained up, hoodied on, it's Big and Brody Asbill and Andrew Oriana.
What's up, babe? What's going on?
And we got the newest crew member in the back sitting over there, mic'd up this week again, Aldo Campagna. Young Aldo.
What's going on?
Okay, here we go. Now let's get down to business. Now we have just walked in. Dude, when I was trying to find this guy walking up, he was yelling hootie hoo and throwing up gang signs. He's at JP's this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Joe Byars.
What's poppin'?
What's poppin', blood?
We out here. Thanks for having me over at the Trap. I appreciate y'all.
Of course. The two most gangster people, you and Aldo, are wearing the most floral shirts.
Oh, man. That sounds like a
Sasquatch?
fun Vice show, Outro with Joe Byars.
Big facts. Had to pull up on the homies. Thanks for having me.
Can we film something where we just send you to just deep hood areas?
Yo, that's how I came up in Atlanta. I came up doing all the hood rooms.
Wait, so
Yeah.
you're...
I'm known as White Boy Joel out there.
Nice.
Oh, wait, I thought that was kind of a... Wait, so yeah, you actually did, like, do this shit. This isn't like a...
Oh, yeah. For real.
Okay, now
Well,
question...
first off, no, Joel. We had several conversations before the camera started. You can't start doing AFV right in front of me. No, you can't just be like, "What's up? What's poppin', my bloods?"
Just starts the episode
Yeah.
by
code switching.
Yeah, you're code switching in front of a half black man. You need to chill.
like a Tommy Bahama
He
t-shirt.
doesn't even do the black rooms here. You know what?
That's a fact.
He doesn't do the Atlanta version of Phoenix.
Dude, I did one show that started at midnight, and they were serving catfish bites and Hennessy, and I was like, "This is not
Oh,
it."
yeah. The flyer probably said it starts at 9. It starts at midnight.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
called his
Smoking blunts
parents.
in the front row. I was like, "What's
He
happening?"
called his parents. He needed to go home.
Mommy, I'm scared.
Mom, they're smoking weed
They put
inside.
they put 3.5 in a backwood, and I'm nervous.
The funny thing is, I've done that show, the one that he's talking about, and they fucking love me there. Everybody loves me. And like one time I thought I was going to get my ass kicked, and this guy was just mean mugging me, and he finally came up. I'm like, oh, God. He just wanted to sell me ecstasy.
It's good looking out. Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
just like, you want to buy some pills? And I'm like, oh, thank God. No, not right now. But like, I'm about to go on stage in front of a stripper pole. Like,
Who books that? Can I get the contact on that? I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
Lamar.
No, I've
I'll
done
look
strip
up.
clubs before too. Yeah.
no, it wasn't a strip club. It's an office building that they rented out with
Yeah.
the stripper pole.
They
in
were
it.
definitely
Oh,
strippers inside.
they installed that themselves.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wouldn't use the word install. I would
say placed.
It's been placed there, loose bolts. It's not a load bearing beam.
I was about to say that's there to support the building.
It doesn't
yeah.
spin.
I would say
Like-
left until tomorrow, where they move it to who actually bought it.
Yeah, if you try to spin on that thing, your legs are gonna sound like a 2-on-2 on a basketball court.
So in Atlanta, do they have? How many clubs do they have out there? Is there a decent amount of clubs?
Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 clubs in Atlanta, and then there's shows every night of the week. Like
Man.
you can get up multiple times a week. Atlanta's great
Do
comedy
they have like
scenes.
is it like chain clubs, or is it like kind of like JP stuff where it's locally owned?
They're all like locally owned, but like super established. Like they've all been there forever. There's like Laughing Skull, Punchline, Uptown,
Oh, damn.
ATL Comedy Theater. Those are probably like the 4 big clubs, but within that, there's such a great scene that there's so many producers that produce multiple shows a week and like kind of have their own production companies that aren't comedy clubs, but they
Right.
still like do shows every weekend with headliners and stuff.
Damn.
Isn't Atlanta where Earthquake has his club down at?
Yeah, that's where it started.
Yeah.
So in the 90s, it started out as Uptown, and he started that. And then the owner he opened it with, Gary, now owns Atlanta Comedy Theater, and Uptown is owned by different people now. But yeah, Earthquake is like, yeah, he started it all in the early 90s,
That
which
fucking
his special.
rules.
Have you guys seen?
yeah,
The new
no.
Bruh.
No.
You've seen it?
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, must watch.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
great.
the one that Dave Chappelle put his name
yeah,
behind?
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's another level.
That's how you know. That's how you know someone's real good, bro. When the goat's like, I'm gonna help your numbers by putting my name on the shit.
The
'Cause
first special Chappelle ever produced, it was Earthquake. It's
That fucking rules. I
Is he
gotta
like
watch
an old?
that.
Is he like an old legend? Like, is he a
Yeah,
guy
oh,
that like
yeah.
should have gotten more due but just didn't for some reason?
for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, he's been killing for decades.
He's like in that realm where it's like killing in obscurity, kind of.
So
where
you
it's
have
like,
industry walk, because we don't have no sort of industry walking around to Phoenix really at all, and we have a couple decent sized clubs, but it's like there's no person of interest really, other than like the one booker at each of the clubs that really is like I guess do you have bigger sized comics that live there? Like I know Nate's in Nashville or whatnot. And Earthquake, does he live out there still?
I don't know where Earthquake lives.
Is Danny Brown coming around a lot? I know he does stuff with your mom's house. Does he like go around to like comedy shows and shit like that?
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen him do stand up. Does he do stand up?
Yeah, I see. He goes on Kill Tony whenever he comes to Detroit.
Yeah, he's for sure transitioned into a podcaster now.
I saw that, and he does it in front of the green screen and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never seen him do stand up. I just know he's kind of like a quirky guy that does a lot of funny stuff.
Yeah, he's a lunatic, dude.
He's all over, dude.
He's a crazy dude. He did. Did you see that story he told about the guys from Diantword trying to suck his dick?
Did you say Diane?
No, Diantword.
Oh, I don't know.
What the hell is that?
They're a South African DJ duo.
The two people from Chappie.
Why do you know that?
Because
they're pretty big people.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
DJ duo.
I've never heard of that. No.
Oh, it's weird. Yeah. No, my dad turned me on to these, and he's like, "Isn't this nuts?"
And your dad's listening to South African music duos?
Yeah, South African weird dance rap. Yeah, my dad's a fun guy.
What in the hell?
How weird.
He's weird as fuck.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though, what Segura has done with your mom's house.
It's insane.
He has his own media company now.
Yeah, he's like a complete like conglomerate at this point. He has multiple productions under his banner. He does live shows.
He owns Dr. Drew.
That's the goal. That's what you want to do, right?
Sells
you don't
out
wanna...
arenas now. Yeah, I mean,
He's
in
like
terms of business, he's like silently become like one of the major players just like in the business side of comedy.
What I was saying is like he's the most like people want to be like a certain type of comic. They want to be like a Patrice, a Bill Burr. I feel like Tom Segura is the most well-rounded in terms of ability to network, ability to build his brand, ability to have amazing stand-up like material behind it as well. It's like a complete 100% full sphere of like what a comic needs to be.
Yeah, and I think the pandemic taught us all that like not to have all your eggs in one basket. Because like pre-pandemic, I was a touring headliner. Overnight, I'm unemployed, and I was like, oh no, what now? So you really got to diversify.
Is that when did you start Hot Breath? Right, because that's the
yeah, that started
it's
about
a big channel, correct?
5 years ago. Yeah, it started out as a podcast where I was interviewing Atlanta comedians that were on Last Comic Standing. So I was like, this will be a cool time capsule for Atlanta comedy. And then since it's like over 400 interviews with comedians now.
I was gonna say,
Dude, I've been watching Hot Breath for at least like 7-8 months now.
Let's go.
I used to do the
Hot Breathiverse.
I used to be I'm on the Facebook page, and I used to do those right tens too as well.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, every day we post a new word in there, and comics will write new jokes.
Oh, that's
just
fun.
using that word and like give each other feedback and stuff. But during the pandemic, I went live like over 400 days in a row doing this live writing exercise. And then I had like a mental breakdown and like cried, and I had to like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, that's
it
what
really like.
Yeah, that's
dope.
what 400 of those do. Dude.
It was wild.
Yeah,
But
You're just
every
doing
day.
Kill Tony every day.
It was wild, dude.
That's why it's like when Daniel gets on my ass, he's like, you never do any Instagram stuff. I'm like, that is where it leads for me. I'm like,
That's
it's
where
not
the
going to
hurt's
go
at.
good. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be posting. I'm like, I'm getting a lot of shit. And then I'm like looking at comments, and I'm like, I am dumb. I am retarded.
'cause you
I
made,
am going to kill myself. Like, it's fucking bad. Like,
well, you obviously you understand that like the new way comedy works is like you need to be a jack of all trades, right, and be able to do all this other stuff.
For sure.
Do you see it as it's split 50-50? Like it still is obviously being funny is a given, but there's people that have made it with less funny, more business acumen, and vice versa. Do you see it as a 50-50, or is it a 49-51 one way?
I mean, I'm like a purist. I'm like, get funny and the success will follow, you know? But like the reality of the business is people are doing comedy 2 months and going viral and selling out tours, you know? And I just interviewed actually Gary Abdo, the guy who started Uptown with Earthquake. And his advice to someone starting comedy now is like build an online following and then develop as a comedian, because the
Really?
business is have an audience that you can then leverage into selling out venues. And that's where he said strictly business, build your social media and then worry about getting good at stand up, because that's just where the industry is now.
honestly,
But I'm a purist. Get
I was-
good at stand up.
I was about to say, I'm like, I cannot disagree more.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is so like out of my mind.
Because
like,
that seems like a way quicker way to the bottom, too.
I see it the other way. It would be a way quicker way to the bottom if this were 1983. The world we live in now, it's like, I'm not what you would call a purist. I'm kind of the opposite, where it's like, I think that I believe I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, and I'm going to get to I have a ceiling as how funny I'm going to get. I'm going to get to that ceiling at some point regardless. There's no reason that you can't be trying to monetize and make some cash and like make the business gains early on. Like you're not losing anything trying to start a podcast and make that successful stand-up wise. At least I don't think so. Like you're still doing shows, writing, doing
it's
that
all
shit.
creative. It's all
Right.
creative. But like one will like stand-up requires just so much like writing and performing and refining and getting booked and all of this. Like
Yeah.
like each thing requires just so much energy and attention that if you do disperse it, it will take away. But the more you can find overlap into where one helps and feeds the other, then you can kind of find a synergy there. But it's all a grind, dude.
Do you
you-
kind of have a goal? Sorry, go ahead.
No, but you need that like the drive from doing I've seen like people who like I've hosted for people coming through the Tempe Improv who are just selling out strictly off TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's like I see these people and I see their sets and I'm like this isn't refining anything. This is like they're not building to anything greater. It's just like they're going in front of people who want to hear the shit that they hear on TikTok, and then he gives them it and then just collects money from it. There's no, it's a
Do
plateau.
they like open with their thing? They come out and like.
It's a plateau. There's no way up.
They're kind of like they're.
You needed, yeah, you need,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, pressure. Yeah, pressure makes a diamond. Like it's not just you gotta put like actual like effort into it.
Especially if you want them to come back. Like they can come
Exactly,
once and be
yeah.
like, "Oh, they're a TikTok comic. He was all right. We got a selfie. It was cool, but we won't come back."
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
a faster way to the bottom. They're like the little pumps and the 6ix9ines of comedy. where it's
The
like,
only reason that I kind of have an argument against this, I got to open for Noel Miller in Flagstaff, who is bigger known for other things besides stand-up, right? Like he does review videos and reaction stuff. Like, and he developed a following before. He's only been doing stand-up for like 3 or 4 years. He developed a following online, and like they're so tightly involved with him that like he raps and does a whole bunch of like. I think the goal is to just get them. You're selling your personality. You're selling you. You're not. I'm not selling a Jew joke or a black joke. I'm selling Daniel Bridgegad, and once you get invested in Daniel Bridgegad, you'll buy whatever. If I drop merch, if I drop a Patreon, if I'm touring in your area, like I think the goal is, I've seen it work that way too. He did 1,000 seats of definitely young kids that may have known him for like not stand up, but
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to take into consideration his online presence, of which is his version of doing that grinding in that moment, where I don't think he just suddenly appeared and then posted one thing, got a fucking bunch of stands to follow him, and then like immediately blew up. It was through like his version of grinding. And then I'm sure if he wants to do stand-up, in which he is doing stand-up and he's actually pursuing stand-up, like he's gonna grind and do local
Do you know what it
do
is?
local shows and stuff like that around. He's not just gonna go out and just
he's
do
the
weekends.
equivalent of meeting a chick on Tinder and it working out. Like we're gonna get to a point where like 20, 30 years down the line, that's just like something that happened. And
Shouts
it's
out Haley.
right, and it's not. He met a chick on Tinder, and it's not gonna be like
Almost out of here. Almost out of here.
right.
Congrats,
And it's,
We live
and
with each other.
right, and it's not gonna be something to be looked down on. So like people think that you got to be in the back of open mics, grinding at bars and this and that. It's like, or I could be editing a TikTok, get that same fan base, and because the point's just put ass in the seats.
But
Once-
why can't you do both? If you really want
what
to
I'm saying is, it going to be looked down on? Because that's just the way it's going. In 10 years, is that going to be a looked down on thing where it's like,
It's work either way, dude. Like
That's
that
what
social
I'm
media
saying.
hustle is no
Asses in
joke.
seats. Yeah,
like
oh,
it's
yeah.
a full-time job to build a following. Some people pop
Fuck
off
yeah.
and whatnot, but like quick. But it's usually like a grind, and then to keep building it and being sustainable.
because I don't devalue
it's a
that.
job.
I
Yeah.
know, but
I look
like,
at that the same way as sitting in the back of an open mic. If you're up at 1 a.m. editing a fucking clip and you have to hear the same loop over, that's the same work of putting in as being like, maybe fucking Farmer would be funnier right here. Like
no,
it's the,
yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying to use that to pivot into stand-up comedy, you have to understand that to be a successful stand-up comedian and not just use it as a cash grab, like there's stuff that you have to do.
yeah.
And it's just like there's stuff that like in the same respect of if someone from TikTok was like, I'm a painter. It's like
God, selling painting merch, blowing up.
yeah, just being like, I came out with my own line of acrylics and brushes. Please invest. It's like while that would probably fucking work and stuff like that, and they'll do shitty paintings. It's like they would be fucking like pretty much ripped apart for it, just being like, oh, you're selling this for $1,500, for $5,000. It's a piece of shit. And I'm sure someone would buy it, but they wouldn't be respected. And as it would go, like, the thing is, people like often piss on now the idea of being respected within the community. Everyone is just trying to grab their way to the top, and they're like, once I'm there, I'll get respect. It's what I unlock once I'm at the top. It's like, no, you earn respect through grinding, through being nice, not stepping on heads as you go through, and just like building yourself as a personality amongst the people around you. Because if you're just if you're just a fucking face on Instagram and like you're like, here's what I am, and then in reality you're a piece of shit, like people are gonna figure that out.
Well, Joel's kind of lived in both worlds, where he's for sure you've grinded to get to where you are, but you're
a perfect example of doing both
through the podcast as well. So it's like, where do you kind of lie on that? Because it's like I said, you've lived in both worlds.
If you had to tell a comics that started a week and a half ago, where would you tell them to focus?
Yeah, stand up.
Stand up?
Yeah, stand up.
Yeah. All those 8 months in, are you saying go focus a lot on podcast shit, or he shouldn't even be starting his own podcast shit right now?
I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, podcasting, there's like a stat that it's like 70 or 80% of podcasts on Apple have less than 10 episodes because people just quit because podcasting is its own grind and hustle that I've done myself for years. So the fact you guys have a team is awesome. So for me, I did stand up for 7 or 8 years before I did the podcast. So I kind of developed as a comedian. And when I mean develop, I mean I'm on stage every single night, at least once, out till 1 or 2 a.m., then back up at work the next day at like 6 or 7 a.m. and just living on repeat, just living on stage. And the number one advice from the podcast, from over 400 interviews, has been to get on stage. Every comic, I always like end it by saying like, what's your best comedy advice? And most people have said you've got to get on stage.
Right.
Have you ever had an interview, you don't have to say the name, but where you're like, well, thanks for that advice, but that wasn't helpful at all, dude?
I don't think so. I can't think of anyone that I was just like, yo, this is whack. I mean, the only rough one was like, I had Kurt Metzger on.
Okay, yeah.
And
he sounds like a fun conversation.
He made me wait in his hotel lobby for 2 hours.
Really?
I was in the hotel lobby. We were supposed to do it before his show. And then he and I kept like texting me. He's like, yeah, Mom, 1 second and all this. And then 2 hours later, he comes down and we had to do the interview at the club before. But I was like interviewing him in the car as we're like driving to the club and stuff. So
you're holding a GoPro and a mic
I was like,
at the
I gotta
same
get
time?
this. This was before I had video.
You're
So
like full like journal, like we're just dickheads talking on a couch. You're like full like Lois Lane, like chase you down.
Guerrilla
fucking-
journalism.
oh,
Yeah.
dude, I go out and get it now. I've flown to LA for interviews. Like, I mean,
Damn.
like when I did Cedric and I got like notification like 2 days beforehand, and I had to drive like 3 hours to do the
You
interview.
said Cedric?
Yeah, Ced the Entertainer. Yeah.
Whoa.
No way. That's
but
crazy.
but it's all like, yeah, it's just one episode at a time, and I wanted the show to be what I wish existed, which was like in-depth interviews with dope comics, about comedy, about the business, about the craft of it, and it's
One thing that I like, at least that I saw with you and your Voss interview, is that
Right back to, he's like, could we get back to that?
because I just recently posted that clip of him
Yeah.
roasting me.
I know,
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, you gave it back to him, which like you just weren't like tail tucked. I mean, it shows that like you're a fucking comic.
Yeah, I mean, I came up in the hood rooms, dude. Half the shows turned into roasts.
You probably
That
caught
was
some
about- that was like-
shit.
yeah, big time.
You're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
half the
for
shows
sure.
turned
Did you? What's the worst kind of like? Definitely, because you were white, shit from a black person in like a black room. Did you catch some heat?
I mean, I had a lady.
You look like Kyle Rittenhouse's best case scenario.
You do got the American flag.
You have American flag socks on. And
I do. Yeah. pretty
Lates is
much.
tucked in.
Those
he
are
got a
fucking
run.
non-slip dockers for the pier, for the yacht club.
I just came here to get meth. Isn't that what you guys are selling
Yeah,
here? I thought
yeah.
I was just trying
You've
to.
seen the homeless
I
people?
was
Just
trying to get the
fucking
plug.
You're,
Y'all want the plug?
you're trying to get meth to fucking bring down the property value in a neighborhood you're trying to buy.
So I could gentrify it.
You're just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gentrifying. You're just like, I think a Dunkin' Donuts would go right where that school is.
But that's what's funny. I mean, I look purebred, but I'm really inbred. Like I was born in a trailer in like Rome, Georgia. Like I ain't got it. But,
Double or single wide?
single wide.
Ooh, intimate.
But my dad did upgrade eventually to a double wide, and he had
Ew.
one of those big satellite dishes. We came
Fuck
up.
yeah. That thing hunts. That thing
guys hit the lottery or
That thing hunts aliens. it hit the lottery at $2,500.
Dude, comedians are the best people. They're the only people that you can look at and like they don't take it offensive. They're like single wide or double wide. You're like single
wide. Yeah. You know, we came
Single
from
wide,
humble,
what's up?
humble
Yeah.
beginnings.
What? I'm not
Yeah.
a. What do you think? I'm rich?
Yeah.
And I lived in the hood of Atlanta for a few years too, in a studio apartment. But I got a lot of material out of it. But those were the early days of comedy where I was refilling mini bars during the day and then doing comedy shows at night.
B-Rabbit out here.
Taking food from the mini bars.
Dude, how you didn't get the fucking nickname B-Rabbit?
Joel B. Rabbit.
Yeah.
I did a show, a comedy show. The host was named Doo-Doo Brown.
Doo-Doo Brown.
The
And
crowd's line
I
dance.
was opening up for a twerk contest.
Good. It's good.
And a lady kept
Say
yelling.
you've done hood rooms without saying you've done hood rooms.
So
There
this
was a lady yelling rabbit at me.
This was a primarily Caucasian
Caucasian
establishment.
room?
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had an offering they passed around.
Real
They had
avalanche.
beef
Yeah.
stroganoff in the buffet.
It was rough. And he told me I had to do 15 minutes to get paid. And like, you had to do 15 minutes. And there was a lady
He
on the
aggressively worded it to you like that.
Well, he actually. We were in Atlanta. This was in Columbus, Georgia. So I rode down with him. He had an
Holy
old school
shit.
Cadillac limousine.
Yeah.
And it was full of stuff. I rode in the back, and him and his lady rode up front. So I
you're in the
couldn't
back.
leave.
You're in the
You're in the back
of
of
a
a
limo.
stretch limo.
It was an old, like an 80s Cadillac limo, and I'm just in the back with the Doo-Doo Brown driving.
Yeah, that's baller right there.
But what he
Do you know his
Shout
like,
out to
does,
Benny.
Does that is that his name on his license?
oh yeah, he's known as Doo-Doo Brown.
Hey, like, what is his actual name?
I don't know.
'Cause can
I don't
you-
think people like that put their government name out
Yeah,
there.
I was
like
How
about
many
to
of
say, I'm
his
like,
teeth
can you
are not
imagine?
capped?
Can you
they were
imagine?
gold for sure.
Yeah. Can you imagine being at a show and something goes awry and you have to talk to police? Just be like, all right, who was there? You're like, all right, so Doo-Doo Brown was over here. And you're
That's
just
why
like,
I got booked so much probably in those hood rooms because they needed an alibi in case the cops showed up. They're like, no, we got White Boy Joe. We got
Yeah.
we're
Honestly,
good.
you do. I see how you could play very well in chocolate rooms for sure. No issue. And that was probably.
But the thing is, you just got to be real. That's
Yeah.
why I love coming up in the urban rooms is because if you're real and honest, then that's all they care about.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
white people you can kind of out clever and stuff, but black people see through all that. They're like, we've been through too much. Just tell us how it is. Tell us what you're thinking and feeling in your true life. And that helped me to find material that works in front of everyone, which is the whole
Right.
goal from the beginning.
oh, I would just do when I did the room that the late night room. I would just go up there and just do crowd work the entire time, just for like 10 minutes, and then like I would. There's this woman who I love. She still texts me every Thanksgiving. Her name is Patches. She
is that the old black lady who sat in the front?
Yes, it is.
Same black lady rolled an entire blunt during my set. Didn't smile once. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess what? She loves the boy. Patches loves the boy. I get text messages on Thanksgiving and my birthday. And she consistently has about 4 hairs on her head and wears different wigs every single
Looks
time.
like Tommy
Love it.
Pickles.
Yeah, she does look like Tommy Pickles.
She got Caillou hair.
Yeah, she does. Fucking, you can spit shine that dome. And she always comes in with a different wig. And like, I remember one time she was sitting there, and I said that her dress looks like a Pier 1 lamp. And,
Hilarious.
yeah, and she just thought she's like, "That's fucked up." Like, sit the fuck down, Patches. She's like, "Okay." And just sat back down. I'm just like, I didn't think that'd work. I'm like, oh my god, I
That
didn't think that
shouldn't
worked.
have worked. You should have gotten fought by all of her offspring. What the hell?
All of her friends were dying laughing. It's just like It's
I
like
would have gotten
15
fought.
people. It's like the opposite of an AA meeting.
Yeah.
It's 15
Nah.
people like smoking blunts, and the only thing they have there is like about like it seems like one of those. Do you know those Costco-sized like cheese ball bins?
Yeah.
It's that filled with mysterious alcohol and fruit, and that's the
Oh,
only
it's jungle
drink.
juice, dude.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
only drink they have there, and you order your food when you get there, and you get it when you leave. Like,
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the fucked up part is, it's still like stadium pricing. You're like, why am I paying $15 a plate at a show that started at midnight? You know, and
That's the Jewish coming out that you need to absolutely
Hilarious.
suppress.
dude. No, that's crazy. I'm getting hustled. You're kidding? Like
You're
I'm
just like,
walking back, being like,
Excuse me, do you have a hard seltzer? And
this
they're
is
just
white
like,
fish in panko essentially, and you're
But
charging.
it's funny that you're performing and they still made you buy food.
Oh yeah,
That's you don't even
you.
get paid in food. You're
I had
like,
to
no.
Bro,
That's part of the hustle, man.
I got ripped off for an eighth the weed, and they made me pay for my own fucking catfish. I was pissed.
Your payment was not paying to get in. That's your payment.
No, I was not
That
getting.
should not be your payment, dude.
Yeah, I guess no. You don't. You're gonna fucking talk. You can just be like, "Excuse me, where's my check?" They're like, "You
So,
can eat."
so
my
you're
dick."
saying your level of not getting paid is having to pay the ticket price to go on stage?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, like, dude, I was just having a fun time. I was
Yeah,
having a
I
good-
mean, well, stage time is stage time.
stage time.
though.
Sorry,
I
I'm
mean,
a true
like,
comedian.
Okay, that's here's a
Sorry, I'm just dying to get on stage.
I like to do shows that make me hate myself.
Here's
you know?
a-
I'm a
I
here's
just
a-
like to test
G.
myself. I just like to test myself.
here's a question that I have about curious about the Atlanta scene now, because is there a lot of like paid opportunity out here from the general consensus I've got when people come over from New York or Cali or whatever and they kind of drop in? It's common play to like just not get paid to do. I mean, you could do a 20-minute set out here and
Yeah.
catch no dollars.
Dude, I mean, comedy is like, it is like it's either you're in the 99% or the 1%. There's almost like very few middle class comedy. It's either like you popping or you're grinding, you know.
I feel like I am like in the fucking. The thing is, I get booked at the like clubs around here.
Yeah, that's great.
And stuff like that, and I get like some side shows, but it will be like I'll get hit up. They're like, "Do you want a weekend?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." And then there'll be like 5 weeks of that, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I'm like here to stay." And then like 2 months goes by, I'm like, I'm dead to everyone in the world.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's
And
like-
it's all personal. Like you think, oh, this booger hates me. They're not
yeah,
even
then I
thinking
hit,
about
and
it.
then I
here-
hit them up. I'm like, "Hey," and they're like, "Oh, I forgot about you. Here's the weekend." I'm like,
Well,
"Ah."
out here it's tough because the 3 biggest clubs are all booked by one person. So it's like if you for some
Whoa.
reason the Improv, Stand Up Live, and CB Live are all booked by one person. So
Whoa.
if for some reason you fall off that guy's radar, that's
Big Daddy Coleman.
it's game set match for you.
Yeah, so I mean, there's some paid work in it, like in Atlanta and like the city, but I mean, it might be like maybe $20 or something mostly.
Because I've the couple of Vegas comics that I've gotten to talk to recently, and then obviously New York, they arrive at the point of demanding money quicker, or not saying like quit your day job money, but just they get to the point of like, hey, this thing that I do, like it warrants compensation, which is
for
like
sure, knowing your value. And,
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so I mean, even like coming out here, to headline for the weekend, you want to make sure, that your travel's covered, you're getting put up somewhere. Like make sure the fundamentals, because sometimes a club will just try to finesse, or like a booker will be like, hey, come do this for the culture.
For
and then-
clout.
Yeah, exactly. And they try to leverage it somewhere or another. So like you just learn how to talk to bookers, you learn how to negotiate, you learn what your value is, and just market, and don't compromise. But early on, I mean, I drove 12 hours one way for $50. You know what I mean?
I used to
And
get
then
up-
came right back.
I've driven 2 hours for a guest spot, maybe.
Yeah. Open mic, people will drive hours just to do an open mic spot and stuff.
it's just fucking
I've
nuts, bro.
I've driven like 6 hours to do 3 minutes and then drive back.
Where'd you go to do that?
Flappers Comedy Club.
Shout out
Oh,
Flappers,
you
dude.
did that?
Shout out Flappers.
For a little exposure. Yeah.
and
Coming
I'm
out for
just-
exposure.
And I'm like, I'm gonna get something. I go there,
Just trying to
9
meet Jay
people.
Leno.
Just 9 people, and they're like,
Oh,
all right, we'll
that's
book you
tough.
on the dude. Literally, I did a main room show, and I was the youngest person by about 57 years.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
yeah. Everyone was talking about like fucking war stories, and I go up. I'm like, y'all know about the internet at all? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, half of you guys are on fucking dialysis machines. The other half are like 1 foot in the grave, 3 feet on a fucking banana peel.
Doing comedy feels like one of those jobs where it's like you have to buy the product first before you go actually get to sell it and make money off of it. Like you have to. Do they pay for open mics over there? Is that a
Oh,
common
no,
thing?
no. Like getting paid to do an open
No,
mic?
no,
No,
like
Paying
$5
to do an open mic.
Oh,
like $5
pay, like the
an open mic.
audience?
No, the comics.
like $5 an open mic.
Oh no, there's nothing like that in Atlanta, but like I know in New York and LA there are.
we got
yeah.
a couple out here.
Yeah,
too.
I know there's shows like that for sure. I did one in New York. It was several years ago now, but it was in the basement of a bar, and I think I may have paid $10 for 10 minutes. But
Grizzly Pear?
It wasn't Grizzly Pear, but I did do that show after that one actually. But what happened? It was like 20 comics. After each comic performed, they left. I went up literally last, so I sat through this whole open mic, paid $10 to then perform, and literally me and the host were the only 2 people there.
because everyone
Oh,
else
yeah.
left. It's an
Everyone
open mic,
just
so you
dipped
do-
immediately.
Yeah.
In what part of your career did you learn that you didn't have to sit through the entire open mic until your spot?
It was several years. I mean, I used to sit through open mics. I would talk to the host after, like really respecting just that part of the grind. But now, especially in Atlanta, like I'll just jump from mic to mic to mic
Right.
because I mean, I've been doing it 12 years. Like I know these people at this point to where I'm gonna be here at this time. Like,
Yeah, let me hop on.
but
Yeah.
it's something like, I mean, it's kind of like earning your stripes. Early on, a lot of people are entitled and whatnot, but you really just kind of You got to pay your dues early on. That's part of it.
Yeah, because I used to, when I was started in Orange County, I would sit through like 30 comics to go up, and I was there, and I had to take the bus too, so I'd take like a 2-hour bus ride to an open mic, sit for about 3.5 hours, and then take another 2-hour bus ride back.
Tell you what though, that'll make or break your whole, like, you'll be happy for a month if you get to the point where like maybe your boy starts running an open mic, or whoever the host is deems you worthy enough to kind of call your spot on the list, where you're like, yes, I'm in at fucking this spot, and I don't have to go wait fucking an hour and a half or 2 hours to get up, and I can slide in. And vice versa. If your boy's running a mic that's like popular, and then that business shuts down and that mic's gone, you're like, well, fuck. Now
That's the thing I tell comics now is it's like focus on what you can control. You know, we were talking about this booker doesn't reply or this person has a vendetta against me, which they probably don't. But, you know, we'll see a comic with their face on a flyer and they're like, well, that should be me. I know I haven't contacted anyone about doing that show, but they should know who I am.
Yeah.
You know, it's like nobody cares.
I am the center of attention.
Nobody, most people don't have a vendetta. You're not top of mind, so they're not booking you. That's the reality of it mostly.
I'm glad you said that, because I got 3 motherfuckers right now that I'm like, they must just fucking hate me.
Nah, it's all top of mind, dude. I've interviewed so many bookers, and almost always it's just you're just not top of mind if you're not around, if you don't stay in front of them. So many comics reach out to bookers like, let me get some, let me blah, blah, blah. You know, they're just overwhelmed with it, so they just book what's most convenient a lot of the time. So booking your own shows, producing your own shows, really focusing on what you can control and not waiting for someone else to give you the opportunity is really how you can start to build your own success in this. And then you have leverage, have your own show, bookers book other bookers, be like, oh, I'll put you on my show if you put me on yours. It's a great way to network. Out of town comics can do your show, and then you learn about their shows out of town. So doing your own show is a lot of work, but it's a great way to just get paid something, hopefully, and also just network and really get that experience.
Honestly, if you were
on
here
stage.
a day earlier, you could have done DBG and Friends at the House of Comedy.
I didn't even, this is my first time here, so I definitely want to come back, though, and do more, because I've been able to connect with some comics already, and I just love getting into scenes and seeing what's going on. It seems like there's a lot going on here.
There's a lot of local shows that pop off around here,
we
too.
got we really got the whole infrastructure, and it's just, it sucks because we have industry giants in Texas and California sitting like right there, but the fact that Rogan chose to go to we have everything: guns, weed, like what's over there?
Tax exemptions.
Yeah. He's like, I can own a tiger. I don't know.
Yeah, I have my own lake.
Yeah, but we just don't have the industry. We have fucking the celebrity theater is the coolest shit in the world, bro. Isn't that the Round? Is that the circular one?
I don't know.
Yeah, we have a giant circle theater that holds like 1,000 people this lit. You got 4 or 5 decent clubs, and then you have the JP's is really nice, and then Improv Mania, which is like down the street from JP's. Both of those are like, as far as a little bit smaller rooms, like everything that you need for the infrastructure is here, and we produce, 1-2 big guys every other year.
Yeah, we got good people coming through like constantly.
But still, the CAA, nobody. There's no industry, no flagship office, nothing.
I'm honestly happy about that.
Yeah,
we had a
you
big,
guys are in control.
Yeah,
Build
we
it.
had a big influx of people coming over when
The
COVID
pandemic
came.
started.
Yeah, and a bunch of Californians came over.
Oh yeah.
Bunch of fucking
Yeah, they're like
Get outta
$3K for
here.
a studio. Nah.
Get out of here with your fucking. You think your tacos better than our tacos?
They absolutely are.
They aren't, you dickhead.
They're pretty damn good, I'll tell you.
Ours
that.
are way better. This is a hill I'll die on.
It's competition.
Y'all got white people tacos.
Oh, here's a question I got. So
No,
you got
not,
a wife.
not you. I'm talking about.
So you're
Brett.
married. You're
Dios
married
mío.
doing this stand-up thing, right?
Yeah.
How long you been with the wife for?
5 years.
Okay, so a minute.
You're
Do
married?
you-
Oh yeah.
I
So,
am
but
married.
you got
We
to
out
live.
here. Championship ring.
No, I'm
You guys keeping the bedroom alive?
No,
Huh?
jackass, shut up.
Yeah, good stuff.
Nah.
No, so what I was asking.
Can you show me on me what your favorite position is?
Just dirty talking bits into her ear.
So what I was asking was, you
You start doing black room bits.
Can I get a music cue, honey? Can I get a music cue?
Yeah.
I need a stool to really get into the mood.
DJ, cut that.
Yes. You just fuck a stool before you have sex with
I have
her.
a DJ come in with me.
Yeah.
Like, 1 second, honey. We got to set up here real quick.
I ain't scared of you, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Yeah.
dude, the reason we're laughing so
That's
hard.
what happens when you come. You're like, kick it! Yeah. I heard you, motherfucker.
I let one of my uncles do my show at the House of Comedy one time.
Oh man, he
This
went
man's
full.
this man's name is Descartes. Look, this dude don't do stand up. He clearly loves every Def Jam highlight he's ever seen in his life.
yeah.
He came up. He's like, nephew, let me do 5 minutes. I'm like, can you bring some people? He's like, yeah, I'll bring some people out. he's like, I might struggle doing 5 minutes. That's a long time. So I'm nervous. I'm sweating before the show. I'm like, look, man, I'll have you go first. Fucking fill it every time you can.
He's also the host
That's
of the
what it
show.
was. He's hosting.
Your uncle?
Yes, my uncle. He goes by D. Benny.
Wait, you let him host and he's never been on stage?
Well, okay, take that back. He's hosted and emceed some rap shows before. Look, this is all. Look, imagine just
Karaoke style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've met
Keep
black,
that perception alive through the rest of the story.
you've met black uncles, I presume.
Yeah, I have a black uncle. Shout out to Uncle Robert.
Is your wife black?
No.
Oh,
No, she's Asian.
so you got a real black uncle. You just got like.
I do. I know he's actually black. Yeah, his name's is Uncle Robert.
Uncle
Wait,
Robert.
one of your sisters or brother?
How is
No,
he?
he married into the family.
Oh.
Oh, you don't know how family works out here?
I thought you were like
you
a
thought
logic.
he was like blood. Oh, I
Nah,
thought you were
but
like
yeah,
logic.
that could just be your uncle. Like I'm like 60
Unc.
black dudes
I gotta
now.
call him Unc.
I'm like, how the fuck are you African American in the slightest? I'm like, how the
I'm
fuck?
2% Creole, baby.
You're the only
Homies and honkies,
You're
baby.
the only person to like. It's like a black couple, and then a white baby comes out. You're like, what the fuck
What
happened?
is that? It's a Steve Nash, Quentin Richardson thing. We're like, what the hell?
What the hell?
No, Jesus, took it a whole other direction.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna have a second because we had another big white dude who was talking about his girl. We're like, is she black? She's like, yeah, she's 6'3". There's a whole thing. Anyway, what I was asking. Did you find it easier to be single doing stand up, or did you find it easier to be in a relationship doing stand up?
I mean, you have to be on stage every night. There's no way around that work at the end of the day. So like when I met my wife in college, but then she moved in with me in Atlanta like several years after we graduated. When she was about to move down, I was like, listen, this is literally what I'm on stage every night. I'm going to be gone. I kind of laid out the reality of if you want to be with a comedian, this is literally I'm on call. I may get a call at 8 o'clock that someone needs me there at like 9 that night, and I got to go. So I just laid out the reality, and she was like, okay, yeah. And then it's been cool because there's been that transparency. I think a lot of times people try to like live two lives of like, oh, I'll have this comedy thing and I have this relationship. But the more you can kind of overlap them and make them work together and just make sure you're honest and transparent with expectations, then hopefully you have a significant other that's like down for that grind.
Yeah, and I've found it. I mean, I've never done. I've been doing stand up. Like I was with my girl before stand up, and I'm doing stand up for almost 5 years now. And I had to do it the other way. So she was used to like not that, and then I kind of had to be like, hey, here's what this is now. She's been cool about dealing with it, but I almost find it easier to like. The distraction of chasing female, because you're out at bars every night, you're out at like whatever, taking that away almost I feel like makes it easier to focus on, because then you can get in, get out. There's no like, oh, that girl's this girl's cute, let me talk.
Yeah, there's
like,
accountability.
right,
and you're doing it. If you have like a significant other, then it's like, oh, well, this is more than just about me as well.
Yeah.
So you're more proactive about like maybe getting a booked gig, or if you are going out, making sure that it's worth your while.
Yeah, because I feel like having that significant other, that girl in your life, it puts a weird, at least for me, like I have a time clock in the back of my head that's like, hey, this has to amount to something at some point because there's other people involved now.
Definitely makes you work a touch harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
for
like,
sure.
and she's like, how's the dream going? I'm like, let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go again. It's like, how long has that guy been who's featuring? How long has he been doing stand-up? I'm like, he's
3
in L.A.
months. Yeah.
He's
Right.
in L.A. He's
Yeah,
been
yeah,
talking with people. I'm in here. I'm grinding. It's about the art.
Let's see a
Oh,
Netflix
man.
special, and the family's like, when's your Netflix special?
And I'm like,
You're like, there'll be a whole new medium by the time my shit's up.
They stopped asking a while ago.
I'm getting more into virtual reality specials.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the fun part about like some other dreams. At least when you pitch them to someone, like if you were just a singer, you can go up to kind of anyone and be like, I want to make it as a singer. They can understand that, and they won't ask you an embarrassing question. If you just meet a random, sure, it's all happened. You're like, I do comedy, and they're like, no, but like what else? You're like, bitch, like the fucking. What are you talking about? What like this is everything.
Yeah, it's hard to have
It's
a
either that
hobby.
or the better response, tell me a joke.
That's always.
Oh,
that
yeah,
sucks.
for sure.
Have you written a thing for that? Like you've been in the comedy the longest.
I usually, at this point, just say, I mean, the only thing I can think of is your shirt. And I just like, I just roast their shirt. Tell me a joke. And I'm like, oh, your shirt. And then they usually
Your
are like,
shirt.
oh.
What
They
I
never
just-
ask again.
what
I
I-
hope that roasts them to where they never want to ask another comic.
What
Yeah.
You're
do,
doing the Lord's work, my friend. you're out here like a civil servant.
Do you know what you should do? You should do this. This would never get anyone like to ever ask that question. Just as soon as like they're like, "Oh, tell me a joke," just hit your head as hard as you can on any solid surface until your nose bleeds, and you're just like, "Is this funny? Is this funny to you? Is this what you want?"
Look at
Is
his
this what you
face.
I'll
want?
let you have that one.
Yeah.
You can have that one.
Is this what you want from me? Is this what you want from me right now? Am I a fucking joke to you? And then do that like funny how thing from Goodfellas that Joe Pesci does, and then just leave.
That's a lot of effort, though. I don't want to have to do an
Yeah.
act out.
Bro, you see your whole life
I
in
need
like
a
are you-
one-liner and get out of there.
Are you an artist?
I thought you were a purist.
I thought you were a comedy purist.
you see your whole life in like black and white fragrance commercial. It makes no sense.
It's like a Draco Noir.
Yeah. It's just fucking so. Imagine a like Dracar Noir fucking commercial where some guy's just going crazy.
I like the way he said it better. He said
Draco.
Draco.
Draco Noir.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is
Yeah,
it Dracar
straight-
Noir?
Is
Yeah,
that a
Dracar-
Harry Potter character?
Yeah,
Fuck
like,
his
I
little
don't know.
pussy hat.
I haven't bought Marshall's cologne in a while, so I don't know what it is.
Sorry, I'm a man of class. On a
He's
price.
headlining. Show him some respect.
I'm headlining the club you're headlining, motherfucker. It seems like some of us.
Nah, he big dicked you. Put it away.
It seems like some of us are in the same price point. Okay. Well, I have not talked to Rich
He
Voss.
openly brags, Goodwill's the only place that I shop.
I stopped. I started shopping newer places. I stopped wearing jeans other people wore.
Oh, I used to love Goodwill, dude.
I know,
Before
I-
I got married, I was a Goodwillionaire all day.
I know that was my.
Hey, that's the name of the episode.
Good-
Mark
Goodwillionaire.
that. Thank you. Yeah, Goodwillionaire.
That definitely sounds like a very sad rapper from 2005.
That was the
It's
funniest
like,
shit ever.
yo, my name is Goodwillionaire, and we're about to pimp your shit. And then just takes you to a Goodwill, gets you $19 clothes.
And then they bedazzle like your denim jacket and all that.
Yeah.
Flash it up.
and just like, don't worry, they wash them here. And then he turns to the camera, they don't wash 'em."
They see me picking. I'm thrifty.
And I'm looking, and guess what? It's the tag of the day. Yeah.
Half off, half off.
Yeah. I guess
off,
it's
half
the,
off.
I guess it's the second Saturday of the month.
Here. I hate that I keep bringing it back to Atlanta, but the how many rapper friends do you have? How many friends? Is there an equal amount of people trying to make it in the rap game that there are stand up?
I don't know if I have it. I've like been in rap videos before.
Really?
So I've
Saw
been like,
that. That
would count
I've been
as
like
a
white
solid-
boy. Yeah.
The protagonist.
So yeah.
Protagonist or antagonist?
One of them, his name's Young Scooter.
Yeah.
And
you
he-
seem like you're the lawyer against him in the video.
I literally in the
I couldn't
video.
have any rap friends.
like,
He goes, well, Young Scooter.
No cap on this, but you
Yeah.
know, Young Scooter. He has a song called Plug Lingo, and in the video, I'm dressed up like a scientist, and he teaches me how to cook a crack rock.
Dude, I saw that. That shit was so funny. I was dying.
Wait, do
bro.
you
Like,
know? Have you
oh,
seen
yeah.
this?
Yeah, I saw the video and shit. That shit was funny, bro.
We in these streets, yeah. And what's funny, is that they're like show up to set at 8.
Did he actually
Young
teach you
Scooter
how?
pulls up at like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
One of those.
Fashionably.
One of those moves. Yeah,
Does he just go by Scooter?
Plug lingo, not plug window, you
I
dumbass.
didn't hear him.
The video
right
pulled up.
there.
there.
Yeah, it's right there.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I heard
Wow.
plug
World
window.
Star Hip Hop, that's
Oh,
how you know
wow.
it's official.
Hold on.
We gotta
Keep
buy
talking.
premium.
gotta
Look at
add.
us.
I
God
keep saying we need to
damn.
buy premium. This episode is sponsored by Samsung Galaxy. Samsung Galaxy, your way.
No way.
Yeah,
This
so
is
you-
awesome.
yeah, so it kind of I cut it in, but like throughout the video,
You gotta
where
skim.
He's like shows me how to like work.
What?
There he is. He's showing me the powder. My guy.
That's crazy as
So he
fuck.
shows me the powder, and then we like open it up. And
Andrew,
we
hit the
cook
dismiss
it
thing
up.
real quick. I want to see something. Dude, what?
How many views does that have?
What? You're in a video with 26 million views cooking crack.
This is on World Star Hip Hop, dude.
Yeah.
I thought you meant this is like some SoundCloud rapper you
No.
met after a show.
No, this
Yeah.
guy's legit. I had people reach out to me after this. They're like, "Yo, you're in Young Scooter's video."
Yo, can you help me cook crack?
I'm so.
Did
That
he
would
teach
make
you the
sense to
formula?
you, son.
Yeah.
flipping bricks,
Dude, that's
whipping
hysterical.
up bricks in the kitchen.
Dude,
See,
with
we
the
working it
bitches.
there. We working it there.
With the bitches in the back, okay? So
See,
funny.
now I got more questions. How cool is an actual rap video set to be at? Is it like a pretty?
And how
like,
uncomfortable were you?
Yeah, it was.
Sitting there in the lab coat with everyone else just being fucking bricked out and being like, yo, what the fuck's up? You're just like, I'm here to be a scientist.
I'm playing a scientist. Yeah,
I'm
it was
here-
You
dope,
think
man.
he went
It
in
was
like
fun.
that? How did you think he came into this episode, dude?
so do you?
Oh, yeah, very true. You turned it on.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a defense mechanism. I go into White Boy Joel. I got a code switch.
You're like, sup, bloods? How we doing, huh?
What?
Oh, what we rep him? Crips. My apologies.
God,
Hey,
wow.
let me see them rocks, bro.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually really cool. How'd you get cast in that? Do you know Young Scooter?
No, so I was in another rap video, and then the people
All
that
right,
did that one
Timberlake,
referred
chill
me to this one. It was another one, Cyrus Smith, Bags, and it's like a
Cyrus Smith.
I would have guessed a
CYRUS.
C
Yeah.
for sure.
But it's like
Not serious.
a Ferris Bueller parody, and I'm like the principal that's trying to like bust him and all that. So the people that did that
What?
video referred me to the Young Scooter video.
What's the name of that
Bags.
song?
So that it's Bags right there. Yeah.
how the
Isn't
hell
that
are you
a
just in rap videos? Like, is this
Comfy-
I'm the plug on white people, man.
It's a beast, bro.
look on white people?
So so there I was right there, like I like stalking his house and all
Dude,
this.
what the hell? That's actually tight as fuck. You just get to be in rap videos, hanging
there
out.
He is.
Hey,
Yeah.
there he is. Hey.
What the fuck? Is this the neighborhood watch? Is that what I'm watching?
He was like
Dude.
skipping school, so
I'm not sure if because I'm like seeing this, I'm like, this is dope, but I'm not sure if I would want to be pigeonholed as cuck in every rap video. And it's being like, hey, you need a white corny guy to look racist? I got someone.
Nah, I'm a key player in this video, yo.
You
what's
are.
With the, What's with the vinegar stroke face you
Yeah.
have right now?
I'm in the zone right here.
It does look like you're not trying to bust him. It looks like you're trying to bust a nut while looking through his window.
Hold on, I
his
told you,
art.
just fucking stay right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my god.
What was your first rap video then? What
Is
was
it
your?
this?
Wow, he had to think back. There's a lot.
I think the first I was on an album first. Like, and I did one of the skits.
You
in
like
the
Cat
albums.
Williams' outro on Pimpin' All Over the World?
I was at a comedy show, and literally there was a studio next to the venue. And one of the rappers like heard my set or whatever. He's like, "Yo, will you come do this skit with us real quick on this album?"
That's my personal dream. That's all I've ever wanted is to be on a rapper's.
To be liked by
is to be-
actual African American
It's for
people.
the black community to finally fucking.
Yeah, to finally validate me. He's just like, yes, sir.
It's like,
I'll be in your Rapperoo music video.
it's like, do you mind? We're naming this song Uncle Tom. Do you mind playing? Tom? You're like, God damn, might as well. What's the name?
Jeepers.
Jeepers.
Jeepers. Gosh, that's so
It's all
funny.
it's all those like moments in stand up you just never realize what opportunities are going to come from where.
Fuck no, you
It's
don't.
just that's why stand up and like getting on stage is so important. You just never know who's in the audience that
So
night.
that's a fun
Yeah.
plus that Atlanta stand-up has is sometimes Young Jeezy's in the back. And he's just,
You just never know.
He's just like,
Yeah,
Sometimes
I
little
booked a lot of
Scooter
stuff
pulls
like
up
that.
on his razor,
yeah,
and he's just like, so.
what is razor? You were holding on to that one. You're like, well, how can I shoehorn a Scooter razor joke into
I
this?
didn't
just
think
like-
that hard about it, but I'm glad you think I'm that funny.
that's just a crazy
Oh, I didn't say it
thing.
was funny. I was
Like,
just saying,
I was cooking. I was cooking.
Like
on
when
it.
you walked up today, I just didn't think like our interaction started with you yelling "hootie hoo." so I didn't think you would go from "hootie hoo" to be like, "Yeah, I was in the Cyrus Smith
The way
video."
that I imagine you yelling "hootie hoo" is the way that someone yells "lassie." Like, I imagine you're like "hootie hoo, hootie hoo." Are you in the well?
No, but he doesn't. He talks with more like twang in his voice than I do. Like it's just bro. He's about it. He's built in.
I'm Batty. Yeah. It literally, I don't know what, because like I come from like the country of Georgia too, so
Yeah.
I have like that honky bonics too. You know, I can get down in there on that accent, so we can just code switch all
many
over.
We already had John Carden on.
How many rotations away from a Clint are you? From a Clint are you?
My family is just wild like that. I mean, them just seeing me doing a lot of these hood shows and rap videos and stuff, they're like, "Say what, Jywel? What are
Yeah.
you doing out there?"
Because I have
Say what?
I have some pretty small town country family. Are they more hillbilly or redneck? Because there's a distinction.
Yeah, it's more like, well, I mean, because it's like trailers, so I don't know what that. But they're like they're not like trashy, I guess. There aren't like cars without wheels in the front yard.
You can
and
be a
stuff
classy
like that.
redneck.
All the cars-
That's
I
the
would say redneck.
That's
I would
the
say
quintessential.
redneck. They
Hillbillies
can
are
build their own
actual
stuff.
trash and okay being
Yeah.
okay being trash.
Oh no, it would be more like redneck. Yeah,
Yeah.
like just rural.
Yeah, like someone trying to make a backyard roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like that. Hilarious.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, nothing like that. Just like a lot of hunting and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
They've all like built their own houses and
Any coonskin, non-ironically?
no,
No,
nothing
that's
like
fine.
that.
Yeah.
I'm quick to
like
defend
that.
it. Yeah. You just saying coon. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was about to say.
What are we
Just a setup in here?
Is
What's
it
happening?
set up? Yeah, I was imagining they're just like the rap videos. They're just like, what the hell are you doing?
What in the?
What
But they love it.
is
Anytime we
it
get together,
safe where you are?
they always like ask me to like show us your new videos. Whenever I get together with the family, they're like, "Where's more content?" So they love it though. Yeah, they're
That's
fans.
awesome.
So your family's about it then. That's
Yeah,
good.
they love it.
That
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
tough if they weren't. That'd be a hard.
I
Yeah.
can imagine because comedy's already hard enough. So like, fortunately, I haven't had anyone who's like, "Are you sure? Like, when are you quitting? Or
Yeah.
when you gonna
It's
get real?"
tough.
Like, it's always been supportive.
That church. We got. Yeah.
It's tough.
We got a couple of those on the cast that kind of got to deal with the chirping, being like, "What's good with this? Where's the? Are you
This whole hobby thing is pretty cool, but when are you gonna start making money?
yeah, it's tough,
which
man.
is
It's
fucking
tough.
wild.
Yeah.
I get how you leave every day, being like, "All right, see ya. I'm gonna go fucking what? What do you think I do? Sell chocolate bars? I'm gonna go do a stand up.
Yeah.
It would. It's a fun thing to have a nice supportive family.
Yup,
For sure.
I do.
I saw when we were doing some research that you dropped a special, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
In
Right
a
before
suit.
the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The trophy husband.
What made you go suit?
Well, it was the suit I wore at my wedding.
Oh, damn.
So it's called the
Ooh.
trophy husband. So I was trying to make it this whole like marriage.
May
thing,
I
you
say, not a rental.
Oh, what?
know?
That's-
No.
Look at you.
And do you
Got
work?
that.
Do you work clean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Always.
Say
yeah.
the F word.
I mean, if like at an open mic and things like that, I'll like, stuff may slip out and whatnot as I'm working out stuff. But like, if it's like a gig and I'm like paid to like be a comedian, like, it's clean. I like brand myself as clean and book myself like that.
Is that a decision you made like from day one? You were like, this is gonna be, or is that just naturally kind of who you are? You're a little bit more clean.
Yeah, that's just naturally who I was. I mean, I noticed early on whenever I got like angry on stage or tried to get edgy, I look like 12. You know, I look like a youth pastor. If I'm up there like trying to be edgy and like swear and
It
stuff.
looks like you're trying to start something in the community.
It turns people off. Like it
Yeah.
didn't connect with the audience, and I think it also like the first comic, like Sinbad. That's the comic I saw and was like, "Yo, I want to do comedies," and he was clean. So I think I just naturally gravitated towards clean.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't tell comics whether or not they should or shouldn't be clean. But I will say there's more work if you can be clean. I remember when I had Mark Normand on, he said that if he could do it over again, he would like start clean because like when he opened up for Seinfeld, he had to literally like scrape all of his material. He said he had to go through all his albums just to find enough material
Just to find 15 minutes
to
yeah.
open up for Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if you can have like a clean set that then you can then, if someone has like a company potluck they need comedy for, like a family
Right.
reunion they want to be clean, you can still do those gigs and still like be an
It's a
employed
broader.
comedian.
Yeah, it's a broader.
But
That's
yeah,
crazy,
I don't tell
man.
people like you do whatever you want up there. It's you up there. Say what you want. But
Yeah.
for me, it's always just been clean. That's just kind of how I started and how I just continue to do it.
Say the F word.
Cause
Fun? Man, get me set up out here in those glasses. What are you talking about? I see through you glasses.
How dare you? I'm
That's
gonna
lit,
get a
'cause-
candid camera to. I'm getting candid camera. You saying shit and piss, and your whole empire going down.
that has to
I also
be,
wanted to comment on your website, which is baller as fuck, to be honest. This is a nice setup, dude.
Joel.
Oh, I mean, anything I ever look at with comedians is like, or I like try to stand out from other comedians, and it's like most comics, even like famous comics, have terrible websites.
So
it's
bad.
like, it's like, what can you do to stand out? And if someone lands on this page, would they want to book you? If someone lands on your social media, would they want to book you?
That's
and
that's
things
what my
like that.
that's what my day job is. So I kind of work in like this realm. But yeah, that'll literally lose you money if I click on your shit
Yeah.
and it just looks like a basic like you paid for a template and just gave someone some cash and called it a day. You'll lose cash on that.
Did you
That's-
hi-
Perception.
Did you hire someone privately to do this? Like a
So
specific
what's
person?
cool about the podcast is like, I mean, even this weekend at JP's, the owner is a fan of the podcast. He booked me out here for the weekend. Last weekend I was in Oregon. A fan of the podcast booked me to go do a theater out there where she lived in Oregon. So it's like the person that did my website, fan of the podcast, who helped me build it. And this was several years ago.
rules.
That's awesome.
Wow, yeah.
So it's all part of the job of being a comedian, you know.
It's so crazy to me when you see people that are like dead set on making it. They're like, I'm putting all my eggs in this entertainment basket, this and that, and then you're like, when's the last time you posted on social media? And they're like, months ago. And you're like, why are you? Well, now you're just some asshole that I got to wait behind for 5 minutes to go do sets. To me, it's like there's people that are willing to give their left nut in order to make it, and then people that are like just hobbyists that are like, this is a fun.
But dude, I couldn't imagine the grind now, because like when I started 12 years ago, it was just like get on stage, live on stage, as much stage time as possible. But now cats are like 2 months in, posting grainy crowd work clips, trying to like go viral from this coffee shop video. You know,
Yeah.
It's like I can't imagine the mindset now of it's like, well, I've got to develop as a comedian, but I got to record it and I got to post it and I got subtitles and blah blah blah. Like there's so much more that
Because
people worry about
honestly,
now.
that's what's people get invested in the
Growth.
Like how many times have you heard people say, the first 4 seasons of that was fine, or when they were the old thing was cool and now it's not. Like people get invested in they want to see the grainy, they want to see the grainy become HD. That's where you make
The come up, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, whatever. But yeah, there's a higher saturation. Like when you were starting, was there ever 45 names on a list?
I mean, I've definitely done like 20, 25 comics, but 40, 45. That's
how it
Is
is
everyone
out
doing
here.
5 minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they'll
man.
put
What?
They'll put no cap on some of the things out here, and it'll be a mic that lasts like 4 hours.
And then the host sometimes will decide to do 2 to 3 minutes to get the crowd back.
Of course. Yeah, an open mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
I've been at JP's till like 3 a.m.
Same.
JP's also, didn't know, stands for Jordan Peterson.
Oh, word.
Jesus Comedy
Yeah.
Club.
It's Jordan Peterson's Comedy Club.
That makes sense.
I have one question for you.
Okay.
When's the Bill Burr episode coming, dude?
Yo.
When
we
is
are
the Bill
working on it. Dude, we have
Because I saw you
don't
talking to
even
Verzi about it
start
too.
Dude, Verzi, Mike Binder I had on there. I have a video of Mike Binder, who directed Bill Burr's last 2 specials, telling him in the video to like come on the show.
You're just orbiting this man.
And Burr Kreischer is someone who during the pandemic, talk about like the dope thing about the podcast is like during the pandemic it became this super engaged community of comedians like coming together, and we like during the pandemic we did this thing called Burt Watch, where we created over 100 memes about like getting Burt on the show, and we finally got his attention and he said he would, and then now I've been going back and forth with his people like for like over a year now. So it's like one of those things, it's like focusing on what you can control. It's like cool, we got him to respond, but I'm at a point it's like just build it and they will come. Just keep making the podcast better and better and better, and they'll see.
That's what Are You
They'll
Garbage
come on.
did. That's what
Keep
Are You Garbage
harassing.
did.
Exactly. Yeah, those guys, the come up that those guys had, and you can tell
Insane.
the comics that come on now are like I love, like when Whitney Cummings was on, she's like, I wanted to be on this. I've loved your grind. Like I've seen the build.
She reached out to Burt to get on that. Like she was actively like, yo, I need to, like-
Yeah.
I love it how your like motto is just like just keep harassing Burt Kreischer.
And
dude,
then
because
he's like one of those YouTube videos was like, I will eat a picture of Burt Kreischer until
Every day I will eat and shit and then eat the shit
Well, because it's
until Burt Kreischer.
and tell me if I'm wrong, but like now the business we live in, it's like you're used to your certain view count you get per episode, but a bump will put you like in just a
course.
different position.
It's a different stratosphere when you do get someone like a Bill Burr on there for sure. But it's like, I mean, the names are cool, but I've had like Seth on and like Jeff Foxworthy and like these comedians where you're like, oh my gosh, like these people are huge, but those aren't necessarily the most popular episodes.
no,
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's cool to get those names and it can add clout and add recognition and bring new people in. But long term, it's like no one famous comic on your show is going to be the thing that's like, oh, we had this person on and then now we're like blowing up. It's still like maybe a little bump and then you got to keep going.
But like you said,
consistently.
it's the recognition, because if you have that one comic on, other bigger name comics will see that and be like, oh, this is a place that we can fuck with. It's a reputable place. It's legitimate.
Exactly. Yeah, and people like Burt, like he refers, like, if he loves something, he'll tell like, all right, you got to go on Segura's show. You got to go on this show. Like, so he's someone who I feel like would do it and then be like, oh my gosh, you got to we got to get Tom on here and things like that.
That's a good Burt.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But this guy's so busy. I get it. I mean,
he has his
nothing personal. It's cool that he responded and like all of that and said he will do it.
Yeah,
and
he's
it was-
just like
Well, you're at the
getting
point
done
now
with
where
his
you're
touring
dealing-
festival.
You're dealing with big enough people that like got people. Like we were talking personally. There was like there's no one that's like, oh yeah, hit my guy up. Like
Oh yeah.
so you're dealing with like fucking agents, managers, like
Yeah, for sure.
Touring agents, touring managers, just like different. There's like 7 people you got to go through to get the final
yeah.
boss.
How do you feel like is that? Because sometimes I feel like I send a message to someone, I'm like that's in the dark. They may never see that, and that's like a low level booker that still got a day job. Like how you feel when you send a message to like a millionaire manager or like some dude who's like really making some bucks, like all right fam, like
Yeah, you just reach out, put your best foot forward. Like if you're reaching out to management, making sure the email is professional.
Yeah.
Making sure you have something professional to show them.
Oh yeah.
Like if here's our show, here's the things we've done, and like make sure it all looks professional and stuff.
Yeah.
But shoot your shot. I mean, like I had Andrew Schultz on several years ago now, but that was a tweet. I like tweeted at him. He was in Atlanta. Like my system really was like, you guys have so many clubs here. I mean, you can just tap in, and like I would just look at who's coming to town, and I would reach out to them. Like Rich Voss, for example. You brought up Rich Voss. It was like I hit him up on social media. He didn't respond. I went and watched him at his show, and so I was like, I tracked him down basically.
I was about to say I don't think Voss even knows how to work social media.
Yeah, like I ended up just going to the show. Same thing with Felipe Esparza. Like I tweeted at him, and he didn't respond. So I went to the show, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Joel." He's like, "Oh, you're the guy from Twitter." That was a bad. Lo
I knew
siento.
exact-
Lo
no,
siento,
no, I
mis
knew
amigos. Mi
I knew
español
exactly
es
what you were
más o
talking about.
menos. But I have no fear in just asking. You just
Yeah.
never know what
Yeah,
they're gonna
man.
say. You never know what's sliding in a DM. Shoot your shot.
because yes, we are just chilling. Yeah, if you're headlining for the weekend, you didn't bring like any of your boys with you, like you're just chilling at the condo or the hotel
exactly.
or whatnot.
Yeah. So that's why I reached out to you guys, because I was like, I love connecting with other comics and hanging out, and it's like I'm here. What am I doing?
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Get to see his cool apartment.
You're not a big just bring the Xbox on the road guy and hang out and do nothing.
Nah.
Yeah, not at all.
You think this man brings an Xbox on the road?
He's just plugged into his
This
PlayStation,
motherfucker's sitting here whittling in a Best Western.
just cussing out 12-year-olds, and then goes to do a clean comedy show.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like, oh, let me throw
No.
this down.
No, you seem like you
Hilarious.
come into your like comedy condo and like Mr. Rogers put on your inside shoes.
Yeah,
and, like,
for sure.
Get comfy. You have a bonsai tree,
I
don't
definitely
you?
have clothes hanging up in the hotel right now, for sure.
Oh my god.
Definitely. And I already started packing. I'm leaving tomorrow. My flight's at 6 a.m. I've already started packing.
You're so much
Jesus
you're way more
Christ.
organized than I probably will ever be. I would have not opened my suitcase for more than 3 seconds just to pull out some shit, throwing it back in there.
I mean, it's like if you want comedy to be your job, you got to treat it like a job.
I know.
You know, no wrinkles in the shirt.
Here's
I
the thing.
ironed when I got into
Dude,
town.
here's
But I'm not new to this. I grew to this. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Here's the thing.
urban rooms are giving you bars, dude.
off,
Brody, tuck the chains.
Dude,
This
I
is
had
white
that
chocolate.
In the pocket.
First
I had that
off.
one in the pocket.
Dude, I
Hilarious.
imagine just you grow the amount of like urban rooms you've done, just the fucking moleskins you have of cool sayings that you've written down in the corner of the room. Like, I'm not new to this.
He doesn't write down his set list anymore, just cool bars to throw in.
Yeah. I grown up in this shit. All right. Can you
What's
define
poppin' slime?
define trap?
Yeah, I have a whole joke about trailer to the trap and all that. Yeah.
Dude, that has to be the next
Trailer
title.
to the trap to American
Just
flag
doing a
song.
trailer to the trap
need to be a
in the
sponsor,
3-piece
yeah.
suit. I fucking love that. That's fine.
So hysterical. That's so
If I
funny.
have showed I would have come hung out at Jay Pizzle's down
But
the road.
it's all like what's natural to you though. I think especially people see social media and they're like, well, what's my character? What's my persona? It's like, well, whatever comes natural to you. Like I've never tried to like put on, be like, oh, let me go do urban rooms and try to like white it up. Like I've never tried to pander. And if I did a joke in like an all black room that didn't work in an all white room or vice versa, then I would just get rid of it. Like I always just work towards what was natural to me. And it's just time, dude. Like this is time. Comedy is just like,
Yeah, dude.
we see someone like Burt Kreischer. It took him like 20 years to pop.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I've
And,
been
like,
doing it
okay,
7.5.
dude.
and,
It's
like,
all. It probably took me 8 years to realize, oh, I should stop focusing on other people giving me stuff and create my own opportunities. And that's when I started doing my own tours, produce my own special on my 10-year anniversary, like just create my own stuff.
I'm trying to I'm moving at the end of the year to New York.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just like in the couple months that I've been here, I'm just like, fuck. If I wasn't moving, I definitely would be trying to run my own local show here at like a club or something.
Well, it's not. You could still do that. In the
I know,
meantime.
but I just don't want to like put my like fucking like all
You
this
could make
time
enough
in-
money running a show at a local club to justify your plane ticket once a month to come do it.
I mean,
Yeah, what's
I'm
that
getting,
excuse? What do you mean? I don't want to do this thing I want to do because I'm moving later.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to like.
That was a great Tristan.
That's not me.
He like started like
That's not me.
He
Pretty
like had
sure
an
he
idea and he
snorted.
created a immediate excuse to not do it. He's
Well,
like, but that
no.
would be hard.
No, that wasn't my. First
No,
of
I'm
all,
saying-
fuck you, Joel.
No, I'm saying how you said it with a cold.
Fuck you, dude.
Spot on.
Fuck
Joel,
you.
Joel, do you want to be on the next episode of Internal Affairs?
Joel.
Yeah, Joe,
Eat
you ever been on
shit.
Patreon
How
where we
about
let you
this?
cuss?
How about this?
Yeah, you guys did just start a Patreon.
How about
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
How about this? Once you say a fucking curse word on stage and put big shoes on,
I mean, I've sworn like I'm not like perfect or
say
whatever.
fuck. No, I'm kidding. But no, my idea behind it wasn't like that I'm afraid to do it. I'm not afraid of anything, Joel, and I'll eat any amount of hot peppers you need me to eat right now to prove that. Yeah, but no,
It's hot breath, not hot ones you did.
I know, but I just wanted to prove that I was a man, both inside and within my belly.
But that's cool. You're moving to New York and you're just trying to prepare for that. And not
Yeah,
wanna
I'm
get,
just like
yeah.
I'm trying to like fucking save up money. I'm like picking up extra shifts. I don't need to like suddenly like stress myself out with like, oh, now I have to book this. I have to do that. I'm like, I'd rather dedicate my time to just like doing the grind that I do now here, and then when I'm in New York starting something, because I have friends out there, and like I would love to like kind of like right now I'm just like in the hibernation period of actually thinking of a show that I would want to do, because I don't want it to be just some showcase.
Of course,
I
yeah.
want it to be like something fun and like something new and original.
Yeah, bro, just showcases suck.
Yeah,
Those
they
definitely
suck,
don't
dude.
pay the bills.
What
at
am I gonna
all.
call it? TRB and friends?
Yeah,
What the
yeah.
fuck am I gonna do? Like some jamoke, and use a word like jamoke, like some dickhead.
Is that a shot? Where shots fired?
He
at
says
someone?
jamoke a lot.
I run a local show called DBG and Friends that pays pretty okay, and I also say jamoke a decent amount. So that was about 30 seconds of just fuck me. That's
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Let's. I want to do like a fun little topic. So like I assume that you're making some money from this and stuff like that. When we're talking
comedy? Yeah,
I
that's
mean
my job.
yeah, no shit. I'm saying from
Wow.
the podcast and stuff like
He
that.
should scissor kick you.
No.
He
No.
said, "Well, it's my job."
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
socks
yeah.
look pretty expensive. You're doing pretty good for yourself, huh?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
talked shit about your Marshall's cologne like 25 minutes ago.
This is Eddie Bauer. I mean, this
He's putting you guys in the dirt, and he's doing it rated G.
Yeah. Rated
These
G.
insults are rated E for everyone.
Yeah. God damn.
Nah, but Joel, you're making money. You're making moves. What's your first irresponsible purchase?
Flagrant purchase. Once you got that bread.
That
I'll
you
put
want-
in.
Oh,
I'll put
once
in.
I do?
I'll put in the terminology that you prefer. Once you bricked up with that bread.
yeah.
it-
Once we secure the bag.
Once the bag is secure,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the ops are out of the way. What is an irresponsible flagrant purchase? Can it be a chain? I would love. What would your fucking custom chain
Oh,
be?
dude, get a Flavor Flav chain.
Oh my god! It's just a saltine cracker.
Yeah.
Just a bedazzled saltine cracker.
Yeah, just like salt and pepper shakers on it, and it's being like it has real salt. I'm a fan of condiments. Yeah,
Yo, I would really like a dope watch. I mean, this is a fossil. This
yeah,
is
it looks
actually-
pretty fucking old to me.
I wore it in my. I wore this at my wedding actually. But yeah, I'll just wear this. So it's like this is like $100 watch, but I'd like to flex on like a nice watch.
So that'd
it's like
be
an
your-
asset though. I'd like to buy something that actually
Well, yeah, you
retains
can't touch
value.
it. You're not going to bust down a fucking Rolex or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, no,
Unless
right
it come
now.
with factory diamonds.
No,
No,
we're
I'm not
talking
saying-
about like.
Oh, I would definitely
flagrant
like
purchase.
any flagrant purchase would definitely be like an asset though. I wouldn't want to go out and like buy like.
Shut up! You're not buying healthcare. Get something cool.
No,
a
you
watch
buy
is
cool
cool.
shit.
I know.
That's
I
an
thought you
asset.
said I thought you meant like an asset. Like, well, I'll probably.
You're gonna
gotta
go buy
shoot-
like a mutual fund
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
like, well,
I'm
I'll
getting
prob-
all the Apple.
Well, I'm gonna invest in my stepdad's company.
You
like,
gotta
no,
excuse
it's-
Tristan.
You
no,
called
no.
you called Tristan Four Eyes, and now he's heated, dude.
buy a motorcycle.
Stay away from big words like asset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, definitely. I think I'd like to have like a dope watch. I mean, I like cool clothes and stuff. I'm trying to like dress cooler and stuff. So I may like flex, like things I've never liked. Because even like I got upgraded into a BMW today. Like the guy.
He made that very clear, by
But
the way.
I
When
made
was-
I made it very clear that it wasn't my car. Like everyone I've seen that has seen me driving that car is like, it's not mine. Like I met up with a comic before this, and he saw me in the BMW. I was like, it's not mine. The dude at the rental place was like a comedy fan, and he's like, oh, let me hook you up and upgrade you or whatever. But
I could almost-
I don't like flashy stuff. I'd want to be like a Warren Buffett that's like he's eating McDonald's every day, but he's worth like $1 bajillion.
Joe,
Like
You
that
know,
Keanu Reeves vibe.
I want to be
he's taking the
super
subway.
understated.
you
I'm
just
not
own-
like flex and
Yeah,
like
you
flashy.
just own islands and people.
Do you know how
People.
do you know how
Wait a
concerned I
minute.
was when you pulled up in your BMW to my apartment complex? Were like half the people here on Section 8, and I was like, dude, Joel's gonna be afraid he's gonna get shot right now.
No, I've been to it all. I mean, I used to live in the hood of Atlanta. It was called Boulevard. There was a rap song about it. Like, it was a whole.
Were you in that music video?
I wasn't in that one. I wasn't in that one. I got some good bits out of it though.
You're on Boulevard Avenue, dude.
That's so nuts.
But like nothing
Boulevard,
flashy.
Boulevard.
I did like to travel with like family and stuff. Like my wife and I would like to just make it to where we could do whatever we want, but more spend it on experiences instead of things, I guess.
Where would you go?
Well, definitely. This is so white, but it's definitely the Cotswolds in England.
I thought
it's
you
like
were gonna say like Munich.
it's like a very historic place
Cotswold?
that's like
Andrew don't
known
even
for
know how to
like
spell
their gardens.
Cotswolds.
My wife and I really got into gardening over the pandemic.
You are
And, like,
just
especially rose
saltine
gardening,
white.
so-
Oh, you
Saltine white.
garden?
So it's like a very historic area
Okay,
in
yeah.
England that's really known for their gardens and stuff. So
You're from
that's
the
where I would go.
You-
That's the
dude,
whitest
you're-
thing.
You're from
Whoa.
you're from the trap, so you don't watch Downton Abbey. You watch Bridgerton.
Oh, good. This is where they would shoot like a live action Wallace and Gromit, and this is where you're going.
hilarious.
You're like thinking about going to the Get Out house and just being like, wouldn't it be so fun to live somewhere where like pooping was in pots like 300 years ago?
That's not bad. Do you value spending some cash on traveling? Like, is first class a deal to you? Like, is that like a big deal to you?
I would
like,
love to do first class. I've never done first class.
I did it once, and it was honestly, it was just like, oh, the seat's not any more comfortable. It's just wider. It's the same shitty leather. It's the same, like, they just come bring you a towel and you can drink on the plane before people can.
Yeah.
If it's like a longer trip, maybe, but I think overall, like, sometimes it's like a $200 ticket that first class is like $2,000. And you're
Yeah.
like, what is this
For
like
what?
Yeah.
For like an hour flight or something? Yeah. So I mean, I would never like do anything like that just for the fun of it.
I don't understand when like that's their splurge. They're like, dude, if I'm gonna be on this uncomfortable cylinder, I'm gonna sit on this
Yeah.
slightly larger piece of pleather, and it's somehow gonna be better. Spending my cash on. Oh God,
You're fucking building a pyramid of you.
be built pretty quick too. Paying them double time.
You're not paying.
You didn't build the pyramid in time. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, I wouldn't. It would be in suits. I would just start wearing suits. All
You
the
just
time.
start wearing suits.
All
When
the
you get
time.
the glow up, it'd be all suits.
Yeah, all suits. All
Full
the time.
Steve Harvey suit.
All the time. All no.
18 buttons.
yeah.
Not,
The king of
no,
comedy.
not like a
Yeah,
fucking
King
zoot
of Comedy.
suit. Like,
Make it look like you're in a fucking curtain.
yeah, that's exactly what I'd be going for.
Yeah.
Just a tan King of Comedy suit.
Yeah.
It
flailing
makes
all
a
over the
difference,
place.
dude. Like I feel a difference on stage, and I get a different reception when I do dress better. Like
They take
when
you more seriously.
They take you more seriously. Like your jokes land hard. Like I've noticed a difference because I used to like Goodwill. I wore just like trash.
You in like mesh T-shirts and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about how I was coming off to the audience. But really, once you start to become self-aware of like how the audience is viewing you, and it starts to help you kind of steer your material and become more self-aware and start to find your voice.
Yeah.
But it's whatever's authentic.
So you're
I'm not
saying-
saying your shirt has a hole in it, you shouldn't wear it on stage. If that's authentic to you,
A-hole.
It is.
it's like go for it.
It is.
A-hole is a
He's
loose
so
interpretation of that
He's
shirt.
so nicely
yeah.
just kind of.
Oh,
like,
never mind, multiple holes. Oh.
There's several holes.
Can we get a collection plate going around for him?
There's
Can we
several
get-
holes.
But that's what I'm saying. If it's true to you, I'm just saying whatever is authentic to you.
He got that shirt from a crime scene.
Did he say collection
That
plate?
shirt
No
is
one
crime.
laughed.
I live with 1,000 moths. They're constantly eating my clothing.
But that's something that like young comics can change early on. Is it's like, all right, well, I'm still developing, getting better, but like, can I look more presentable on stage? Can you look more bookable? Would someone watch you on stage and be like, oh, I'd like to have them come perform at my company function?
Yeah,
or
I used
That's
whatever.
why the hardest road to go is the blue outcast, dog. The blue kind of like, I'm edgy. And you're like, all right, well, I hope one of the comedy clubs has like a dirty show or like an edgy
But
night.
like
or,
young
like,
comics
something.
also like they see Bill Burr doing like this like misogynistic material or whatever. They're like, oh well, he's
That's
talking about
no way to get Bill Burr on
he's
your
talking about
podcast,
like women,
man.
but
Yeah.
it's about to be like a big up to Bill Burr that he's able to pull off these super complex and controversial topics and make them hilarious. Like he says stuff about his wife. My wife finds hilarious. Like
Yeah.
he's like my wife and like my wife. But young comics see that and think that, oh, well, Bill Burr did it, so let me just go talk about how much annoying my girlfriend is or how women should stop complaining. But it's like, no, he just spent like several decades honing the craft of comedy to be able to tackle these complex topics. Like, start with your dog, start with your job, start with super basic topics. Can you make like the weather funny and then build it out and get into more taboo and controversial stuff? But so many comics now try to like do all this edgy stuff without even knowing how to like make anything funny. You start with like
It's the same thing with all those Patrice kids that come out now.
Yeah. I like how you had such a sincere and like absolute, like a perfect moment where you're like talking to younger comedians and you had to do the Borat my wife.
yeah. It's so
you
default.
had to. You're just like, so my wife. How deeply that is ingrained into the. You're like, so I called him. I said, "What's that?" And your son is dead.
It is true. It was almost like a reflex. I
Yeah.
couldn't even like help it.
Just like, sorry guys, my wife.
Yeah. But
Dear
it's true.
Lord.
So many young comics do try to do all these taboo topics, and it's like, well, just learn how to write a joke first. Like, crawl before you walk. Like, comedy is a language, and it's just something you have to develop over time. And it takes, I mean, so many comics I've interviewed say it's like 10 years before you even start to figure out what your voice is. And I'm
Yeah.
12 years in, and I'm still like, I don't. Maybe it's a little bit like this, but I'm still trying to figure it out 12 years in.
Are you more of like a, not like one-liner, but like you get onto a new subject within, a minute, or are you a longer kind of story type guy?
I started out as a one-liner. Like, early on, it was all one-liners. Like, I loved Mitch Hedberg and, like, Rodney Dangerfield. And, like, I was all one-liners. And I think all comics should at least learn how to write a one-liner because that's
the backbone of
That's at the
comedy,
core of
yeah.
everything.
What's your favorite one-liner
Oh, my.
that you've written?
Oh, I married a woman with tattoos because she's comfortable with permanent mistakes.
That's fun.
That's
It
not bad.
never misses. That's like a one joke. I remember early on when I was just like terrible and you'd be bombing or whatever, and
Pull that out.
I would say that joke and that would get a pop, and then immediately go down to just bombing.
You're like, well,
Yeah.
that's all I had, guys.
Yeah. And that's like a joke that took me over an hour to write that joke.
Yeah.
It's like comics just hear an idea
yeah.
and they're like, oh, cool, they're funny on accident. Like joke writing, it's like a skill that you just have to do a lot to learn. So it started out as one-liners, and over time it's like expanded into more like storytelling and stuff, but still joke writing and like the one-liner is still how I write. It's just more subconscious now, I guess.
Yeah, I got you.
Do you sit down on like a blank piece of paper and be like, all right, time to write some funny? Or do you kind of like, when it pops into your head, you're like, let me like go ahead and write this down?
Yeah, I definitely keep notes of like if I have a funny idea, I keep track of it in like a Google Doc and whatnot. But more now, my writing is more of like I like more journal. Like this morning, I had an idea last night I said on stage that it just kind of came out as I was just talking, and then I was like, oh, I just kind of journaled about that idea and just like maybe I'll find some funny connections here. But I don't. Early on, I would like go to the library and be like, all right, I'm writing one-liners about this topic and really hammer them out. But now I am a little more just kind of like fluid with it to where I'm more journaling or free writing. And then if I find a funny connection, maybe then I'll do like a Venn diagram with it or look for, okay, maybe there's another parallel I could do here. But
It kind of seems to be the end result for all, or just like from listening through like podcasting and stuff, the end result for like comedy in the long run. It's pretty much it's Jerry who writes down word for word.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on, but everyone else gets to bullet points and little kind of like blurbs and stuff like that.
Yeah, everyone does it differently. We're all trying to, get the laugh, but how we get there, we all just kind of, you find your own way to get there.
Right.
And now that we've talked about your process, where can someone find you on the road? This comes out August 17th.
Yes.
Where can we find you?
Where will I?
Where will you be?
Check out the podcast because we're on a podcast. So go listen to my podcast. It's called Hot Breath. It's on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Over 400 interviews.
It's fucking sick, bro. We did a whole deep dive last night, kind of as a cast, watching some episodes.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate
it's
it.
fucking
It's really
dope.
good.
Yeah, I've been a fan for a minute too. So
I appreciate the look out there. They got an OG Hot Brethren.
I was
over
a
there.
fan for longer than him.
Word?
Yeah, for longer than him. Way longer.
How'd you find the show?
So 5 years ago, I was watching it.
5 years ago.
Yeah,
You
like
saw the
9
first episode.
Yeah, like 7 years ago. Yeah.
You were like my comedy tutorials when I started.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but I watched your Joke Doctor episode, and that was the first
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
like the first like crash course I did of just like basic stuff. So I did what he did, where I would just try to write like one-liners every day for a while. So that's kind of how I started.
How's that going?
I gave up, but I did it. But you know what? I
He
did
learned
it.
how to quit from the show.
I did it for like 2 months, and they helped me get basic jokes. So I
Yeah.
had one-liners to start with.
Hey.
Yeah. It's kind of like learning the rules and then you can break them.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Joke Doctor episodes, I've had him on like 3 times now or
Yeah.
something. Those are such great episodes just to learn the joke writing craft.
I used to, when I would write in my notebook, I used to write down the 5 different ways a joke can be written, and then try to find different ways to plug those into bits, and it helped so much, dude.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people think that they watch a video and then they're like, "Oh, I understand like how to write a joke now." But it's literally like you write 20 jokes and maybe keep one.
Yeah.
So it's like learning these skills and these techniques and stuff, and then you have to put them to work and find out what works for you, and just know that it's a numbers game, dude. Like you literally, like 1 out of 20 you may end up keeping.
Can you promise as a comedian right now that you'll never put any of that comedy, like actual helpful advice behind a paywall and do some masterclass bullshit?
Oh, it's all out there.
Yeah, I know, but
Every
I can totally
episode.
imagine just like someone just being like, "Hi, we have $500,000 for you," and you just being
Yeah.
like, "And for $45, I will show you how to be the funniest person in the world."
Oh no! I mean, the whole show has always been for comics by comics.
Yeah, dude.
So I've
That's
never,
what I like.
Fubu,
That's what I
baby.
like.
I've never ever like wanted to come off as like a gatekeeper or like someone who's like trying to get over on comics. I mean, because when I came up, comedy was very negative and competitive, and people had a scarcity mindset around. Well, let's hold on. We don't want to give away too much, but like
Yeah.
I want it all out there, because at the end of the day, like you can learn everything. You have to go do it, dude.
Right.
Like you can listen all day, but unless you're on that stage and you're writing jokes, it's only going to get you so far. So even people like Joke Doctor has classes and whatnot, and he can help, but if you don't take what you've learned from a class and put it on stage,
Right.
then you just don't worry about it.
Just don't fall into the machine, man.
But
Well,
classes
shit.
can help with that learning curve of like developing and writing and learning
Yeah.
techniques and stuff.
It's just
but
hard. It's hard to weed out
gotta
because
get on
I did a
stage.
fucking comedy class. I got fucking scalped for $300, and it was just snake oil salesman. shit.
You gotta, dude. You have to look at the source.
I
Like,
know.
You
The thing
have-
is, I didn't, and so like I was
Yeah.
just like the fact that when I saw you doing this, I'm like, you're not doing it behind a paywall. You're just giving good advice for people who want to do comedians. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the whole goal. It's for comics by comics for sure.
Yeah, dude, and it's Hot Breath. Go check it out. The pod, dude. Joel, thank you for coming off. Man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having
buddy.
me.
We
I'm
This
so
was
glad
so
that-
much fucking
This
fun.
worked
We're
out.
fucking
It's just a
dying.
good
A
time.
little bit of inside baseball,
We're
but we
good.
appreciate
Good
you.
times there. Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
It's been good fun. Catch Joel. He'll be out of here. It won't be in time. He'll be out at JP's, but Tristan will be at JP's. Was like the 17th through the
It's
20th.
the day that it's the weekend this comes out.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
DBG
Oh.
and Friends, September 4th. Any like one-liner, anything one-off?
KO Comedy, my monthly show, August 17th, the day this comes out.
Aldo.
Meraki Kava Bar on Friday, August 19th. You should come out. I am producing it.
And
August
subscribe. Oh, you're up.
Nice.
August 17th is National Black Cat Day.
And subscribe to the Patreon because we got it out, fam. Final Stop. Patreon.com/Final Stop. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
I have to pee.